Double check that everything's running properly. And Twitch looks good. YouTube, are you back? Yep, okay. Alright, so just get going before it decides to go out again. Watch the intro again since I didn't get the audio from it last time when I was playing this. Transcending history and the world, a tale of souls and stores, eternally retold. This is my boy. What's funny about Link design in this game is that it's very like remastered from like the Ocarina of Time look. It looks like him, but it's also different. I don't know if it was I don't think Master Quest was that different. Like, it looked a little bit nicer in Master Quest on the GameCube version of Ocarina of Time, but I don't know if it was this good. But his design in this game is almost unique. Necrid, this is a Todd McFarlane character. So he had Spawn in the Xbox version. If only there was a version of this game you could play as both Daichi, sorry, do both, all three guest characters, Daichi, Spawn, and Link, and have them fight each other. That'd be great. In the HD online version on Xbox, I think, you could have Heihachi fight Spawn, I think. If I remember right. Hello there. I forget how it is. Is it Ulysses? Welcome. It's hard to read from this far away. Well, all those L's and I's close to each other makes it hard to read. This is Soul Calibur 2. The Nintendo Switch 2 version of it. The GameCube out. So it's a fighting game that has three versions. There's a Xbox, a PS2, and a GameCube version. This is the GameCube version of it. That has Link in it. And that's what I'm going to be playing as.
Soul Calibur 2.
Yes, it's the Legend of Zelda trademark in front of it.
Soul.
And let me make sure that the display settings are the same still. They look to be. Yep, by screen. Okay, good. Alright. Weapon Masters, the mode we're going to be playing here. This is like a story mode where you kind of go between different fights and go through like the world. And you pick the character and you can go through it and like unlock different weapons for them to use. And they have stats. It's very neat. We'll just go with Phantom for the name. That's usually what I do when I'm playing a game on stream. Chosen by history, a man becomes a warrior, engraved into history. A warrior becomes a hero. Okay, that was way too fast, I couldn't read that off. That was the gist of it, I guess. All legends surrounded with a sword known as Sola. Some claim to be also a weapon, others refer to the sword of a hero as a phantom sword. With immeasurable power, spirits, a here to eternal youth, a treasure without equal, precursor to the real face. The sword born from human hands comes to life, and began darting sword that's battling human blood countless times around the same time. Spirits call it Soul Calibur, spirits appear in almost a dance called even blade. Two swords clash many times in the history of the new tribe. Ah, jeez. I can't read that fast. Also, I may not create adventure, human qualities such as greed, curiosity, and questing minds entirely involved with history and drive it onward. Men sought to the ultimate prize, rumors surrounding the dark sword passed from person to person, tempting people to go get it. Zora was indebted with flashes of battles of warriors who roamed the lands in quest for the soul edge. It was a world where we lay out of the strength of the will. The story about to unfold is one of such war. The last one's a little easier to read because it's shorter. But yeah, this is your tale of soul and swords. So yeah, essentially, the story is like, oh, you play as one of the characters, and then they go through this world, and they're not supposed to be them per se, but you like play as a character that has their fighting style that looks like them, basically. And, you know, it's kind of silly, but yeah. Yeah. Various changes can be formed, missions about the changes. So, like, each battle has, like, different, like, conditions and rules that make it different than, like, an old battle would be in the game. So you, have to do it with certain settings. So, you're gonna be playing as Link. Probably red, because I like the red costume the most. Chapter 1. Regulus Proving Grounds? I guess I'll focus on that first word. I didn't see what the last one was. You stood before the entrance to the Proving Grounds in the land of Regulus. Regulus. The land of Regulus. Famous for its skilled swordsmen. You predicted that your journey to find the legendary ultimate sword Soul Edge would likely be a difficult one. Therefore, you traveled to Regulus in order to polish your fighting skills before setting off on your quest. After passing through the gate, you found a man standing before you, blocking your path. Halt! You who seek master the way of the warrior, we have no interest in those who lack potential. First, you must prove your worth. It seemed you had to fight with this man to prove your strength and determination. Seeing you take hold of your weapon without a moment's hesitation, the man grinned and said, "Well, looks like we've got a lively one here. Good. I think this one's got some promise." Proving grounds, yeah. So you got all the exercises. Difficulty 1 star. I sense your determination. I'm impressed. After a few bouts, the man said this to you and patted your shoulder lightly. You've been accepted into the Regulus Proving Grounds. Your training began the next day. It seems that the man who tested you, Edgar, is also to be your trainer. We'll start with the basics. Taking your weapon in hand, you waited for Edgar's next orders.
Versus Mitsurugi. A hero desires a sword, and a sword desires a sword. Fine. I accept your challenge. Final battle. Fight.
It's not just telling me how to play the game, basically.
Fight.
Speed to perform a vertical attack.
Fight.
Or not B, but... New features done. You gotta lock things while you do this mode too. What other than just weapons and such. Bulwark Ruins. You realize all that you learn to defeat all the enemies. Having completed your basic training, you travel with Edgar to the advanced proving grounds of the Bulwark Ruins. After a half-day's walk, you arrived at a crumbling rampart. This defensive wall was created during a war here in Regulus. At that same time, this proving ground was built to train the soldiers. Our predecessors claimed victories and skills they honed to this place. Today, we train here with diligence to honor that. Edgar stopped walking and gazed up at the wall, speaking to no one in particular. But pathetically, there are many who cannot handle the training and leave satisfied with their half-learned skills, only to lead lives as bandits and thieves. Looks like they've come out to welcome us. You two were aware of the three figures that watched you from a distance. Grinning, Edgar turned to you and said, I bet it's been a while since you've had a chance to go wild and show off what you've got. With your training, these guys shouldn't pose any threat to you. We'll just call this part of your training, too.
The fighters face a gruesome quest to search for the
Ultimate sword.
Is there no other way?
There's a guy who's attacking me. It's funny that it's these three. Helix, Shanwa, and Maxi. The trio from the original Soul Calibur game. Even May Soul Edge, actually. Easy. Warriors Trial Grounds. After much rigorous training at the Regulus Proving Grounds, it was time for your final challenge. If you succeeded in passing this test, you would be recognized as a full-fledged warrior. The test consisted of combat between the disciples themselves. There were no restrictions and no special conditions. Only those who made good use of what they learned and arose victorious would pass the test. It would be a test of all your training. Attempting to control your rapidly beating heart, you stepped into the arena. Your opponent was already waiting for you. I've been watching your progress for quite some time. You're a worthy opponent for my final test. Saying this, your opponent raised his weapon. I'll be fighting with everything I've got, but I expect no less from you. My rival, I think. Remember right? Yeah, Leon. So funny, they just use those other people, you know, that are actually not the character. Be like these new characters in this game mode. Okay. Good, faster than me. That's close. Yeah, I think that's just really the only way you can unlock some of these stages. That's by playing this mode. On to the next part. The journey begins. Chapter 2. If you're in search of Soul Edge, you should head east. Past the land of Thuban lies the free city of Benetash. With this never-ending flow of people, perhaps you can gather information there. Following Edgar's advice, you set off toward the east. You did not know if you would really find information about Soul Edge in Benetash or not, but it was better than wandering aimlessly. You turned to look back just once. You win this time, said Leon after the battle. But I'll catch up to you soon. Tomorrow I'm going to take the test again. Oh, and I've heard you are searching for Soul Edge. If that's the case, then we'll surely meet again. It seems we're rivals for the same goal. I'm looking forward to our next encounter. You faced forward again and began to walk. Your journey had begun. Thuban Ferret. And 20 hits on the enemy and survived the round. You found your path blocked by the Great Thuban River. Following the river in search of a place to cross, you soon came upon a ferry boat crossing. You immediately headed for the pier, but it appeared to have been abandoned for some time, and there was no one else around. Fortunately, there was still a boat remaining, but as you prepared to launch it into the water, a human figure appeared before you. He claimed ownership of the boat, and demanded you give him all the money you had in exchange for the right to cross. He was obviously a bandit preying on travelers in the area. You sighed and drew your weapon. If you hit him a few times, odds are he'd just give up and run away.
Versus Voldo. A hero desires a sword, and a sword desires
Truth.
Final battle. Fight.
Open to the bullet pop. By one. I missed by one.
Versus Voldo.
Change its outfit.
A hero desires a sword. Final battle. Fight.
I have to hit this guy. He's just dodging like this. Remember this one being kind of tough to complete with some people because of just all this maneuvering.
Versus Voldo. Final battle. Fight.
Like, A is probably the best thing to do. Hope he doesn't block. Lame, but. An Iron Neophyte now. It's way better than Newcomer, I guess. Village of Arch. Archie? Arch? Strong gusts constantly push you to prevent you from stopping at the end of the stage. Defeat the enemy under these conditions. After crossing the Thuban River and heading east, you came upon a small village. Judging from the fishing nets hanging dry in the sun, this was a fisherman's village. A commotion in the village square piqued your interest, so you headed over to take a look. There you found the young people of the village engaged in a test of strength. They fought one-on-one on a wooden scaffold. A champion eventually emerged, but just when you thought the hubbub would subside, the crowd's excitement grew. You looked around to find the source of the commotion, only to realize that you were the cause. The villagers had learned that you were from Regulus. They pushed you up onto the scaffolding without giving you a chance to speak. You found yourself facing a young champion. You didn't notice when you were down on the ground. But on the scaffolding, the wind was strong. It threatened to blow you off the platform at any given moment. Very nice of them.
Versus NSO. Now, two souls are fiercely entangled.
Quit now! If you want to live!
Final battle. Fight!
Alright. You refused to block, I guess. Minkar Mine. Navigate through the enemy-infested dungeon and defeat the boss. Having defeated the hero of the village, you expected to be torn apart by the crowd. Instead, they seemed genuinely impressed. Even the young man you defeated praised your Regulus trained fighting skills. You quickly made friends with the straightforward, honest villagers, but it seemed they had a problem. The mine upstream was poisoning the river and killing the fish. They were planning to send people to speak with the miners. The miners were a violent group, and the river people had no choice but to prepare for the possibility of a fight. Having come to like these people, you soon found yourself agreeing to help them. As expected, the negotiations did not go well. The miners immobilized the villagers with poison and forced them out of the mines. Due to the poison, however, they couldn't even make it back to their village. Fortunately, it seemed you had not drunk very much of the poison. You infiltrated the inside of the mine. You needed to get the antidote to save the villagers, even if you had to take it by force. Here's like the dungeon crawling part of this. That's kind of neat. You start here and you go like, you can choose which direction you want to go to get to the end.
Fate conspired to arrange their battle.
I'm through with words.
Final battle. Fight!
Oh, try to play fast. Keep it going straight for now. It doesn't always split off, but sometimes it does.
Entrust your noble soul in your sword. So, you want me to knock you out?
No. Thanks for the offer. Oh, he's kicking me in the feet. Unfortunately, I heal at every battle. Don't need to worry about that. Yeah, very short dungeon. So he has like the 2 rows. Oh, I lost. Oh, I'm so tired already.
Versus Yoshimitsu. Watched over by the Almighty Ones, they unleash their fury. Final battle.
Oh, geez. Oh, okay. Got combo there. I lost by so fast up.
Versus Yoshimitsu. The fighters face a gruesome quest. It is Yoshimitsu. Final battle. Fight.
Oh, right, feel like that. Get out of here. Get this with you. Oh, which music's not playable. Or is this in this mode? Wait. Has he been on the character's live screen before? What if he wasn't? Chapter 3. Restless Bednash. Bednash? No. Their boss defeated in front of their eyes, the miners looked as though they would attack at any moment. But Shurat stepped forward and silenced them. You idiots! Just how much do you plan to embarrass me today? He promised to provide an antidote to the fishermen and agreed to discuss the situation. Your mission to mediate their dispute was a complete success. The rest was up to them. It seemed Shurat took quite a liking to you. Even as you hurried to leave, he practically dragged you back and insisted that you and the people of the fisherman's village join with him in a feast. The next morning, you bid farewell to everyone and headed out east through the opposite side of the mine. After traveling for some time, you eventually caught sight of Bednash in the distance and could feel the change in the atmosphere. The performers and travelers on the road increased in number, and you could hear the voices of peddlers above the noise of the crowd. It was clear that Bednash was a thriving, bustling city. Carnival. Cannot hold your footing at the edge of the stage. Defeat the enemy with a ring out. So. You've been surrounded by crowds ever since entering Bednash. Listening to the conversations around you, you learned that today was the day of the monthly carnival. You decided that it would be best to just relax and enjoy the festivities. After a little while, you heard excited shouts from up ahead. Stopping to take a look, you saw a lone puppeteer carrying out in frustration. A crowd of people had gathered to watch the out-of-control mechanical puppets. With the huge crowd in the way, you couldn't even pass through the area. Seeing no other choice, you stepped forward to put an end to the rampaging puppets. The noise of the crowd increased as people began to place bets. Wait, please, these are custom-made puppets. I ordered all the way from Shadar. Please don't wreck them. Puppeteer pleaded with you desperately. You sighed and stopped the plan. It looked like the fastest method would be to knock them out of the ring.
Versus Charade. Entrust your noble soul in your sword. Final battle. Fight.
Oh. Okay, dude. Trying to grab him when he outranges me, but he's not great.
Versus Charade. Entrust your final battle. Fight.
Yeah, I need dodge that. Nope. Charade is not as flexible. Yeah, Charade's kind of the kind of it's like the kind of character I wish there was in Smash in some ways. The character that randomly picks other characters like fighting styles and such, and I kind of wanted like a way to play a character like that where you like every stock would switch, kind of like Ditto, but every stock, something like that. That's how it works in this game, where like every round he switches fighting styles. But yeah, I don't know what character that would be other than like Ditto or something for a Smash game. Yeah, so I can pick which direction I want to go now. Gotta go down. Throws are more effective again. Traveling through the foothills on the path to the temple atop the mountain overlooking Bed Nash, you stop to rest at a tavern along the way. A tavern at the entrance to the temple. That's just like this city, you thought to yourself as you opened the door. Upon seeing the inside, you gave a wry smile. It seemed that the temple itself was running the bar. Acolyte priests scurried back and forth, serving loud, rambunctious customers. They sat down at a small table and tried to relax, but a fight began brewing right beside you. A man carrying an enormous amount of luggage was surrounded by a group of drunks. You planned to avoid trouble, but then their leader kicked your table out from under you. It wasn't your style to just keep quiet after such treatment. He drew a weapon and dragged him outside. The man with the luggage took advantage of this chance and quickly disappeared. Your opponent, perhaps cowed by your aggressiveness, held back and maintained a defensive posture. This called for extensive use of throws.
Versus Raphael. The Almighty Ones have granted you a sword to cut your own path. You are quite the rude one. Final battle. Fight!
Defense of my butt. Keep going the way it took me, I guess. Oh, poop. Shadar. Subchapter. Sacred Treasure. As you walked along the mountain path leading from Bed Nash to Shadar, you came to understand just why it was that so few people used the passage. It was little more than an animal trail. You made your way south from the path, suffering nicks and scratches from the thick foliage. You learned of this shortcut from the man with all the luggage in the bar at the entrance to Difta Temple. That doesn't sound right, but whatever. After the fight, he reappeared and told you about it to show his thanks. Shadar was well known among adventurers, an ancient civilization that vanished long ago, left behind countless ruins in the area. And even in the present time, there was still a never-ending flow of travelers visiting Shadar in search of knowledge and treasure. The man explained excitedly that he had discovered a new ruin that no one had seen yet. He had returned to Bed Nash to gather supplies for exploring it when he got involved in the trouble at the bar. In recognition of his debt to you, he revealed his secrets. As you continued along the path, you eventually came upon a half-buried ruin. Your heart began to beat faster. Navigate through the booby-trapped dungeons and defeat the boss. Oh, this is a 4-star. I don't know if it's because it's a lot of battles or because of it or harder AIs. I'm not sure. You're searching for the entrance to an old stone temple. You'd heard that no one had ever gone inside it before, but there were clear signs that people had been inside already. In other words, your chances of encountering scavengers inside the ruin were high. Valuable artifacts were found often in these sorts of ruins, thus there were always treasure hunters milling about. It was reasonable to assume that for the sake of protecting what they dug up, they would attack first and ask questions later. That's how valuable the relics of Shadar were. If you were to make it back out alive, you'd have to keep your guard up. You spent a few moments peering into the entrance, but soon steeled yourself and stepped inside. This might be more of a winding dungeon.
The fighters face a gruesome quest to search for the ultimate sword. Final battle, fight!
Good. Oh, well, don't jump off. Yeah, this one on the other hand doesn't heal you all the way, so you need to be careful that I would hit too much.
The fighters face a gruesome quest to search for the ultimate sword. Final battle, fight!
Dude, hit me way too many times. Alright, I get it. The health back in the next battles.
A hero desires a sword, and a sword desires truth. Final battle, fight!
Yep. Punk.
Watched over by the Almighty Ones, they unleash their fury. Final battle, fight!
Oh no. Oh, my guard down for 1 second. He does that. Oddly enough, you don't go back to the beginning. I think he does. You do keep the same health, I think, right?
The final battle,
Yeah.
fight!
Yeah, just end me at that point. If you go into the battle, you have like no health left. You kind of it's on you.
Watched over by the Almighty Ones. Final battle. Fight!
Okay. The kick came out a little too fast.
A hero. Final battle. Fight!
It makes it grab, not do a guard attack.
Entrust your noble soul. Final battle. Fight!
How did I miss him? Dude, like, flew straight at me and like with the low attack and he just jumped over it somehow. You know, he wasn't even in the air. Alright.
Final battle. Fight!
Oh, missed. So yeah, never ending combo.
Fate conspired. Final battle. Fight!
Oh, actually, yeah, healed a lot more from that one. Okay. Then it justified that it took me so long because it probably was like a mid boss.
The Almighty Ones have granted you a sword to cut your own path.